customers are more important now just because they're communicating with each other. 20 years ago, you would not see that. Now they are faster and communicating and integrating everything. So if you don't appeal to your customer, they will be the ones that will put down your product.
Well, one way of looking at it is if we look at our marketing strategy as a pyramid, then the customer engagement is like the color you add on top of that. It gives the richness and the meaning to how we communicate to with the customer. And if we don't have customer engagement, we are not having a profitable outcome at the end of it. We are not selling to the customer unless we have an exciting engagement with them.
I'm not sure customer engagement plays a role in our actual marketing strategy, because I think customer engagement actually sits above the whole entire business. In our world, luxury, hospitality, it's all about customer engagement. So everything that we do has got to be the customer experience and what they're taking away from it. The business cannot survive without it. So I'm not sure it even slots directly into our marketing strategy. I think it's just a given that it sits above everything.
Yeah.
This has to be done through knowledge. In the case of design hotels, for example, we hammer into our employees the importance of design and architecture and the distinction between our properties and others, only because knowledge is power. When they have this knowledge, they're able to go out and speak with the confidence and speak with this kind of background and understanding that makes them a reference point, which in turn makes us a reference point. And most brands don't have this amount of training and amount of priority put into the understanding of what the brand actually stands for.
We pass to our structure the idea that every time we have a new record, it's a new beginning, it's a fresh start. We don't want them to have the assumption that last year we did well, we sold that many records, so this year will be the same. No, every time we sit on the table with a new product, we go to all the phases on the marketing strategy, from online to physical to concerts. Everything has to be a new approach.
One of the customers that we have is the BBC. They have a very aging audience, and they have a very aging audience because the commissioning bodies within the BBC are older. So what we do is we create pockets of innovation, very project-centric, within the organization, that then tie in with the various departments. And if you go lower down the vertical axis, you will find younger people that just joined the organization. They're much more cross-platform. They're much more 360, and they're much more about a user proposition that is less about broadcasting, and it is more about engaging and advocating. So by creating those pockets, you are instilling innovation, and you are reclaiming a space for the user within the organization.
Well, often we have a lot of agendas from the sales, finance, management that can get in the way of remembering that our customer is actually a real person with real motivations and real interests and desires that we need to respond to with our product. So sometimes it's just trying to visualize the customer, thinking more from the customer's point of view and what they are looking for at different times, and trying to respond that and create communications that bear that in mind.
I think it's really important that your staff are really well trained, have an absolute sense of pride to work for the company, are customer service people. We need to hire people who are nice people, because you can't train someone to be nice. You can train them to operate a computer system, you can't train someone to be nice.
Mainly, for us, what is important is to keep our fan base. So every time we have a new customer, we welcome him, but what is important for us is the one that stayed there from the day one. I think what we are more concerned now in the music industry is the longevity term, and I think you achieve that by keeping your loyal fan base, like the core base close to you?
The difference between old and new customers. For the hospitality-wide, loyalty is key. So I would rather have one customer staying 10 times with us a year than 10 customers staying one time a year. We invest in our clients because they invest in us, and that builds loyalty. And that's very, very simply put, our business is based on loyalty. So our existing customers are the most important customers.
Brands are usually more interested in new customers, and that's where they really invest. What we are doing with a huge energy company is we're positioning the existing customer as the magnet. And existing customers have a lot of value. They get a lot of value from the company and from the services that the brand provides, and they advocate that value. So new customers look at the brand, but they're not really looking at the brand. They're looking at the value that existing customers get from that brand, and therefore, I want to join the club. So it's about joining the club, and so don't spend too much time and effort on acquiring new customers. Spend more time and effort in nourishing the relationships that you have with existing customers, and your brand will inevitably grow because people will see that there's real value there.
Well, to me, they are listeners, because just like in person-to-person communications, nobody wants to listen to a shouter, but of course speaking in a normal, friendly voice is also fine, as long as we are not shouting.
I really think a successful brand is a listener. I think that people have become so overloaded with information, with technology the way it is now. Everyone's on a constant stream of information, and I think when you engage with a brand and they listen to you and you feel that they've taken on board what you've said and they've provided useful, insightful advice or experience, and you walk away thinking they listened to me, got what I needed from them, it's such a better interaction. There's so much automation and things in the world these days that I think if you start shouting about yourself, people you just don't get heard.
I think they're both. They need to listen first, and they need to shout second. Right now they're shouting first, and then they're kind of listening out for the echoes.
I would say the most successful brands at the moment are definitely shouters, more than, or you would perceive them more as shouters than listeners, because like I said, the industry is very much a traditional one. So when disruptors come in, like a Standard Hotel Group or Ace Hotels or whomever, and do something different, I think that your automatic assumption is that they're shouting and that they're doing something outrageous. But the truth is, it's really after years and years of listening. So it's really not one or the other. It's definitely appearing to be shouting, but it's based on what they've learned through listening over the years.